Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus here to look at Onell Design's first foray into Glyos vinyl. Debuting in the summer of 2009, the Armodoc is a robotic race of inadvertent traveler hunters, reprogrammed through a tragic accident, and able to absorb, capture, or destroy the denizens of the Glyos Universe with insurmountable prejudice. The sculpt of this beefcake is stocky and wide, not actually huge in hand, but looking rather intimidating from any angle. Much like the PVC figures that came before it, the Armodoc's got a lot of organic surface detail sculpted right into its body, with smooth round lines everywhere and a ridged carapace on its torso. The hands are also designed to work on either arm, as one is a cannon and the other has 2 fingers and 2 opposable thumbs. The head of the Armodoc gives the biggest visual cues to its robotic nature through the circuitry pattern on its forehead. It also looks, like, permanently angry. Its mouthless scowl is a big part of this creature's identity to me. An Armodoc is mad to see you and mad to hunt you, and it wants to take out that aggression on every obstacle in its path. In 2012, Matt Doughty debuted a new head sculpt called the Cyclodoc, freshening up the Armodoc design with a mono-eyed look that immediately made clear its homages to the Zaku from Gundam or Shockwave from Transformers. According to the blog, its roots also lay in the old Moon Platoon and Space Britain toy lines. This sculpt ups the horrifying killing machine factor of the Armodoc and is kicking around on a lot of the more recent releases of the design as of this recording, some of them actually coming with both heads. As with all Glyos pieces, even vinyls like the Armodoc have appeared in a wide array of colors. Anything you see here is probably only available on the aftermarket, but there are always several new Armodoc color schemes released each year, so watch the Glyos blog for updates on that. Like any Glyos toy, the Armodoc has a swivel point of posability at pretty much every parts connection point, so he can have his head look around, he can have his waist look around, his shoulders can look around, his forearms can look around, and when they look around, they actually do a cool thing where they go from looking kind of stock and straight to looking slightly curved. It's due to the angle of the cut where they attach. It's a very subtle but neat trick. His V-crotched hips can also look around, and his feet can swivel at the ankle to look around. And they have holes under here that actually cut to take the male peg of the small pegs that hold their parts together. And there are 2 different sizes of connection point on the Armodoc. The waist and the head have one, which is this much larger one, like that. And you can actually flip the torso over if you wanted to have like a dumpy Armodoc. I don't really think that looks all that great, because he's just kind of like, I don't care for it that much. But one of the upsides of both the, pop-on and pop-off ability and the amount of hollow space in there is that you can actually take, like, a Glyos figure and just shove him inside and go like, yo, you're either piloting or you just got eaten. This is actually a gimmick used on some clear Armodocs that were sold when the design was still fairly new. They had like a little devoured traveler inside them, which I think was kind of neat. The other thing you can do to make these guys kind of match up with the Glyos system in the PVC sense is if you let's get this head out of the way, puke out Faden there, and then rip this arm off like this. This is what the peg looks like that could feasibly fit in there. The vinyl's a lot stiffer to work with than the PVC. If you heat it up with a hairdryer, it basically starts playing nice, but I'm lazy, so I'm just ripping things in and out. And I've never seen this vinyl actually shred due to physical pressure, so it seems pretty durable. But if you take the Gobon blaster piece here, and then you split it in half, you can actually use this as an intermediary that fits fairly well inside the socket of the smaller vinyl Glyos connection, and now you totally have this, like, weedy cyborg Armodoc arm. Like, this guy got his arm blown off and just kind of fashioned a new one out of leftover axis joints and Gobon blasters and phase arms. So it's kind of a neat intermediary thing. This is a real basic example, but pretty much there is, through the Gobon blaster and through some other stuff that shows up later on in the timeline of Glyos, both vinyl and PVC, there are ways to translate between the 2 languages and create whatever you want, or just create silly stuff like this. Pew. Pew. The Armodoc brought vinyl to Glyos for the first time, and also brought a clear and dangerous enemy creature for the travelers to do battle with. And while these beefy hunters are a much different figure to play with than the usual PVC fare, I think having at least one is a vital part of assembling a Glyos collection. An Armodoc has a particular in-hand quality that's impossible to convey without just tossing one into your waiting mitts. A substantial little mass that feels compact and powerful to the touch. Usually running $25, it's hard to tell someone to take the plunge blind, but if that kind of money is something you can take a small risk with and you're already into the Onell aesthetic, I think it's a roll of the dice that's worth taking. Anyway, this has been internet personality Vangelus, and the Armodoc opened a door to something that a figure the size of a Glyos Traveler is simply begging for. Vehicles.